Good evening, guys. It's Shalom with the Paradox Gaming Network. And today I am doing something a little bit different. I'm doing a paradoxical impressions on crowdfunding and MMOs. The reason why is I've talked about my feelings towards this a lot of times in a lot of videos. And one of my viewers, Omar, he said, hey, I'd like to get a little bit more detail from you why you feel this way. So, of course, obviously, if one of my viewers wants to get into a discussion, most certainly want to do that. So today I'm going to be talking about crowdfunding MMOs and how they get their money through Kickstarter. Now, before we begin, guys, I want you to know that I'm going to provide both the good and the bad about crowdfunding MMOs. Just because my opinion is I don't like it, that doesn't mean I don't see the value of it. So to talk about the good, I acknowledge that there are some ideas that would never see the light of day without crowdfunding. These people who are innovative in the programming world, they might not be business savvy, they might not be well off, they don't have the money to put down their own money to get set up with servers and licensing, art libraries, because they don't have an artist on staff, so they want to grab library fill-ins, trees, grass, all that stuff, and then they'll double back and change it with their own organic stuff later. They don't have that pool of money. They need Kickstarter to get the ball rolling. So to even have a chance, they need an outside source of income. And this allows them to have their ideas get created, and then they can either fully publish that project on their own, they can develop it to a point where they can get more backers, or even, they can get noticed because of their Kickstarter and the work they're doing, and then they get absorbed, and their idea gets bought out by a bigger production company who can bring that game to fruition that they never would have been able to do if they didn't have the money to make a playable demo or early on models. Now, that's great to say that all these things are good. But what about the bad? Where is the risk versus the reward? Risk versus reward is in business. To make money, I have to risk money. I have to risk it all to make it all. They say those who risk it get the biscuit. Those who take the big risks deserve the big rewards. Kickstarter takes the risk off of the developer. The developer goes a little bit in, but the developer gets to keep all the rewards. It's not like the developer says, hey, all of you people that are crowdfunding me, you're going to give me $50 each and I'm going to pay you back the $50. No, they sell you virtual items, virtual goods. They sell you a copy of the game well in advance, and it might end up getting released. I want to say might because let's look at these current numbers. Look how much money these games are brought in. Overall, $10.9 million, almost $11 million in crowd-funded money. And not a single one of these games is out yet. Now, I know some people are going to argue that Star Citizen, Camelot, Crowfall are all in alpha. That's fine. That's not the game. You didn't deliver. You did not deliver a final product. And now we're starting to get a little bit old. 2012, 2013. Come back to that in a second. Also, I want to make sure people are aware that a game like Star Citizen, the oldest one on the list, they've raised $190 million. Where's the game? The game, they said they would deliver it, and they've never delivered it. Now, again, people are going to say it's in alpha, but you didn't buy an alpha. You bought a finished game. How many years ago? 6 years ago? Almost 6 years ago is when the Kickstarter closed. It's completely unacceptable that you took somebody's money 6 years ago, you've raised all this other money, and you still haven't delivered the game. Kickstarter, I get it. It's social marketing. It helps get your game popular because look at the Kickstarter rewards. They give you rewards based on how much money you bring in and how many backers they get. When was the last time there was a Kickstarter that didn't have both a dollar reward at tiers and a backer reward at tiers? Oh, you got 500 backers. All of you backers get this. We made $100,000 over our goal. Everyone gets this. Now, I get it. It's bringing in backers. They want present day investors. They want your money today for the promise of a game tomorrow. But they also want to lock you in today as a future player. And this is because of the sunk cost fallacy. You are more likely to play XYZ game because you already have a copy, even if the game is mediocre. Man, this game looks kind of like crap, but I already have a copy. I'll at least log in and check it out. That's like me and the repopulation. I backed the repopulation years ago, and I just recently installed it. I got my Steam key, and I went in and I was like, this game still looks like crap. Now, I don't have time to play a bad game, but I know there's people that are like, oh, well, I already bought it. Let me spend a couple of more hours in it. There is a marketing strategy behind that. It's the sunk cost fallacy. So I don't like this. I don't like it at all for MMOs, mainly because, big one, the delay between funding and release. Years, multiple. I gave you my money in 2012, 2013, 2015. You haven't released the game yet. I'm going to talk about Crowfall for a second. I didn't fund Crowfall specifically, but 16,936 people did, and now Crowfall spins off their game engine, but they still don't have the game in a playable state. Camelot Unchained has missed their beta again. I didn't get news today that the beta was like full speed ahead. Chronicles of Elyria, they had to punt a year to the right. So really, all of these games, with the exception of the two most recent ones, they're all late. Chronicles and Up on their Kickstarter, they're all past the date they said they'd deliver. Now, with that, Kickstarter does limit them to a short window that the expected delivery is. I wish Kickstarter would allow MMO companies to move that to the right a little bit if they are not going to just take it down altogether, which of course they're not because they make 5%. So what else? Kickstarter rewards often border on my pay-to spectrum. Pay to win, pay to advantage, pay to convenience, special items, special options, special buffs. And I get it. I know I already automatically know the argument you guys are going to make. Well, if you wanted those rewards, you should back the game in Kickstarter. Yeah, guess what, guys? Not everybody hears about the game in Kickstarter. If that's the case, I'm going to use Ashes for example. I have brought 120 people to sign up to Ashes in the about year and a half that I've been doing the referral program. I knew about Ashes way back in 2016, had a technical difficulty on my Kickstarter, so I get it. There's no pay to win in Ashes' items, but there are in other Kickstarters. And people are going to say, well, you had the option too. That's a bad argument because no, they really didn't. They didn't hear about it. If everybody knew about it, if we all had to log into a central MMO registry once a week to say, oh, did you know this game is coming up? Then sure, yeah, everybody heard about it. And then the producers aren't assuming their risk. I like a company that assumes their risk and then launches forward. How much of their dream did they buy in on? I'm going to use Ashes of Creation again as an example. They have secured private sources of funding to deliver a minimum viable product. Now, one day I'm going to ask the question, then why did you guys Kickstarter? Just because I'm interested? But they've assumed the risk, but they still Kickstarted, so they alleviated some of it. If you don't believe in your dream enough to go all in, then I'm not confident in you. I don't believe you think you can deliver the product. I also think that the cost of development is misrepresented on Kickstarters. They're asking for an amount. As you guys saw in that chart, they asked for $500,000. They asked for $900,000. But that amount isn't going to take what it's going to take to finish. This little gem right here from CEO Jeremy Walsh of Soulbound Studios, the guy behind Chronicles of Elyria. We never imagined people would be surprised by the news the game would require more money to finish. That section of the update was simply intended to remind people that MMOs are expensive. But that's not how you presented it. You asked for $900,000 because you knew you probably wouldn't raise more than that. You made it seem like $900,000 finishes up the polish and the game is good to go. I think that's misrepresentation. Another reason why I don't like it. Now, do I blame the players for that, for being ignorant of the overall cost of MMO development? Absolutely. Yes, I do. I blame the players. But I blame the people doing Kickstarters for taking advantage of those players. What I would like to see, if we stay with Kickstarter, and obviously we're going to stay with Kickstarter because they're not going to cut it anytime soon. I would like to see a section of Kickstarters for MMOs that says our required budget is $30 million. We've raised $2.5 million of our own money. We're asking for $2.5. That's going to get us to $5 million of the $30 million we're going to need. After that, we're going to do, what are we going to do? How are you going to bridge that gap? We're going to get more sponsors, take out loans. We're looking for a publisher. What is your long-term goal between Kickstarter end and actual publication? I'd like to see more games go the route of 7 Days to Die. The game was Kickstartered. They asked for $250,000. They got $507,000. They had 13,875 backers. The game came out. The players had something in hand for their money. Now, the first versions of 7 Days weren't great. They were barely playable, but it was something. Then 7 Days continues to be updated. They've sold 2.5 million copies of the game. That's a pretty popular game. I think that before you can go to Kickstarter, you should have to have a playable demo of something. Something. Your character creator, your skills menu, the early town. I don't care if it's 20 minutes of stuff. You should have to have stuff when you sell on a Kickstarter. Hey guys, this is what we created. If you like it, this is how much more money we need to get us somewhere. I'd also like to see them maybe integrate that playable model with some stuff as it goes. Be like, oh guys, we added character creation to the playable model. Like, build it along so the players are getting at least something. And that's it. As I said, Omar, you asked me for it. You got it. Here's my opinions. Here's how I feel about it. Do I see a big change in it coming anytime soon? No. Every single day we get more and more video games cropping up on crowdfunding, specifically Kickstarter. I think those games deserve to be up there. I just wish that they had to provide us a little bit something more so we could really believe that they're going to be able to deliver. Anyway, guys, I would love to have a ton of comments on this particular episode. You can email them into me. You can join my Discord. Hit me up on Discord. Swing by my show Wednesday nights or Friday afternoon. We can talk about that live on Twitch. I talk about this topic all the time. And as always, big thank you to my sponsors. You guys make my life fun, sponsors. I love you guys. You guys are great. And that's it. I'm going to put this in a post-production and get this out. I got a busy week this week. I'm losing the voice a little bit. I just cannot get healthy again. But I'm going to be doing some Warlords Awakening later this week when they launch. And I got some other goodies I'm working on. So take care, guys, and I will see you on Twitch. Hey, where are you going? You're not done yet. See these videos? This video's up here to watch. You got to go over here. Hit the chibi. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the webpage. And I'll see you guys on Twitch.